Hey, my name is Arvids, and I help young Christian men level up their relationships with their girlfriends. Once you trust me enough, the top link in the description is going to bring you to my coaching school where I will be personally coaching you and helping you develop and level up your relationship. And for today's topic, I chose why we must wait until marriage. And I'll start off with a story of myself when I was starting out with dating with my girlfriend, which is who I am together with now. I had almost these two principles which stayed together by, which were why I did stuff with her, but not commit fully, which was it was a good way to practice monogamy, but- which does meaning two people in a relationship, and I was just it seemed like a premarital step because I had this thought in the back of my head, oh well, I'll just marry her anyway, so why not live like we are married like right now? But this cohabition's shortcomings are that I wasn't giving the commitment I should have given her at that time because cohabiting avoids promises which are made in a marriage at the church, and it also undermines trust and reliability. It just gives in more fear and mistrust from the other person or to them. Those are like the key foundations of a stable relationship, and it also gives a false sense of security without binding commitment of marriage. And cohabitation also, yeah, as I previously mentioned, leads to environments of mistrust and fear. And a marriage, which God has designed for us, it is a divine thing. Marriage between one man and one woman is ordained by God, and it is meant to reflect his covenant with humanity, meaning he created this sacred and holy thing for us to have rules to abide and live by, but which help us. And it is also a societal foundation, and basically, thus meaning that marriage is not a religious thing, but also a secular institution, crucial for the stability and for of our society. Because when people are married together, they are less likely to break up, and thus meaning that the children they will raise and the families that they will make are just going to be much better and of higher standard and quality. And when we get married, of course, it is the uh, one thought is that we can have intercourse with each other, but the main thing is that we want to have kids in the future. And cohabitation and marriage, cohabitation, it just impacts children. Cohabitation or marriage, whether either or, it just impacts their stability and guidance because children thrive in homes where parents are married because the parents provide models, ideal models of masculinity and femininity. Femininity as in love, caring, sharing, and but in the masculine form, it shows that this father, for example, a kid looks up to his father and he sees that he commits himself, that he sacrifices himself, his choices to be together with this woman. And it also creates a space of security because marriage offers a secure environment for raising children, teaching them your ways and about their heritage in Christianity, and also guiding them towards the future, which means that you can easily raise them being Christian, you can give them your standards of living, and thus creating better people later on. But the main risks of cohabitation are that it creates a space of emotional and spiritual harm. For me, it was that I just felt awful after doing that kind of stuff. When we were doing it, I felt awful and I felt disconnected from God. And it just increases the likelihood of a relationship being unstable and also harming both of the adults or teens or whatever the age you are. And if you have kids, then it also harms the children, as previously mentioned. It is basically not good for both of you. And the main takeaways between marriage and cohabitation is that it is in when you are married, it is a devotion. You devote yourself to the partner. But when you are just living together, it is compatibility. We just seem compatible. We stick together, we work together. But often this model is built on a bridge, which is visualized to be perfect and good. But later on, when some kind of an incident happens, like an argument or a some kind of a mishap, things start to go down, like fear, mistrust, and it just creates a void which just becomes bigger, and it later on ruins the whole relationship or one's feelings or just thoughts. And in marriage, it is true and real romance. And it is when you're married, you basically have the opportunity to experience real love, which goes beyond fleeting romance, because romance is a feeling we feel. Like we feel that, oh, she looks very cute and I feel attracted to her and all that stuff. And but marriage involves a deep commitment, a bond which is enduring and also lifts up and supports both partners, because if one falls down, the other will bring him up. And common concerns are that for marriage, because for marriage, that fear of getting a divorce or loss, because marriage, of course, it is a tough and challenging thing, but it is a reflection of Christ's unwavering commitment to the church and teaching trust, and it basically teaches trust and devotion. It is a blind leap of faith sometimes, but it always pays back in the future. And concerns about freedom also come up sometimes, because true freedom in marriage comes from mutual respect and love and not from avoiding commitment. Basically, if you're avoiding commitment, you are telling your girl or your partner that you are, oh, there could be a chance that I find someone better than you, and it all, well, you'll be no use to, you'll be of no use to me. And when you are not married, the thing is that why are you not free is that you have all these girls which are trying to make you lust for them, or are just bad women. But when you're married, you have made this commitment, you have made this bond which cannot be separated. And thus you have this protection that you can go anywhere and anytime you want, anywhere and anytime you want, and you'll just feel protected, of course, by not challenging God and going to places like clubs and stuff, but you'll have this sense of protection and trust also towards her. And a Christian perspective of marriage is that it basically is a sacred promise. For Christians, marriage is a covenant that mirrors God's relationship with humanity, requiring trust, sacrifice, and commitment from both sides. That because both need to commit, both need to sacrifice their choices, their freedom, as some people think, but you gain a lot more. And it is basically God's plan and joy for us to be fruitful and multiply. And it is trusting God's plan for marriage because it brings true joy, a godly joy, and stability, as His love calls us to give selflessly. That we don't think about what we want, we just give the person, basically giving and not waiting anything in return. And yeah, that's basically it for today. And may God's angels be with you, and see you in the next one.